So welcome to the new podcast episode. I'm here with the one and only Coach Andres. How are you doing, buddy?
What is going on, Alex? Great to see you. Super Bowl week coming up in front of us. What is Valentine's Day?
Yeah, that's a big one.
Wow.
There's a lot of events coming soon, but the topic today is not fun. We will talk about cheating. And one man who will cheat on a woman even if they love her. Because I've seen some situation with my client where they will come and they will tell me, look, Alex, my boyfriend cheated on me, but he says he loves me. What should I do? So I want to know if you had this experience as well as a coach. What do you think of cheating? What do you have in mind when we talk about men are cheaters?
Well, I like to make sure we cover this up. And ladies, I know you're listening. You know, everyone has some form of cheating or at least thought about it or have done something wrong in some form. So it's not just men, but we're trying to make sure it's helpful for you ladies to understand why men do certain things. So when I hear these situations from my client, I try to adamantly remind them, if this is going to be saved or you want to resolve this, don't force and rush this new trusting situation or this new trusting development where, yeah, he's saying all the right things. He'll do anything. He misses me. He's begging. You need to take time to really defuel the situation as much as you can. Because a lot of times when someone does cheat, they try to do this like survivor's guilt kind of like damage control and say everything right, do everything right, kind of almost like love bomb again.
Yeah.
And you're like, that does not work that way. If you're going to resolve anything after a situation of cheating, you definitely need time apart.
I love what you mentioned because I've seen so many men trying to get back with the women that I was coaching, and they try to love bomb. Mm-hmm. And for me, this is a sign of toxicity.
Yes.
You know you messed up. You know that you did something wrong, but you don't want to lose your girlfriend, your wife. So you're trying to blow them with a lot of emotions and words. And it doesn't seem to me a real personal development process, which is very important after infidelity.
Huge point where you just said personal development. So we always kind of look at it where anyone who cheats probably lacks some self-esteem or confidence or fulfillment, not really happy. So if this person happens to make a mistake of cheating on your partner, which is a selfish act, a low character move, and then now you're being even more selfish and even more toxic of, we got to make this work. We have to do this. I can't lose you. And then you basically force this trust to come back in some form just to benefit you. So if anything, you actually take your cheating to the next level of selfishness and low self-esteem by doing everything to this love bomb effect to, save the relationship. If someone makes a mistake, which happens, and I've had calls like this, they should admit and acknowledge what's going on and allow the space to be out there to really see how you can work things out, correctly in a more effective way.
Yeah, because I feel like if someone is cheating, the real thing is they have to make sure they won't do it again. They have to prove to you that they won't do it again. I have coached a gentleman, and he came to me, he said, I don't know if you would be okay to coach me because I cheated on my wife. I said, don't want to judge, I'm a coach, but I want to hear a little bit of the dynamic, because there is some situation where I say, no, I don't want to coach you. It's not, it's not related to my values. I'm
Been
not
there.
Interested.
Oh, yeah.
But he told me like I have some, sexual desires, what's the word when you have like Tiger Woods? I'm sorry, Tiger Woods.
Sex addict?
Yeah, he was like, I'm sex addict. I just like, I cannot control myself. I don't know what's going on with me. It's not my specialty. So I told him, look, I want to help you talk to your wife. I want to help you explain what's going on, but you need to see a therapist. That is specialty, or her specialty would be to treat your sex addiction. But when someone comes to a coach, ask for if I can help him, tells me the story, tells me he wants to change, usually they are not lying. There are people that are want to change. They really want to be better. They want to change. They want to stop doing bad things.
Yeah.
So some situation I would tell the women I coach, it's okay. Like, it's okay, meaning we can make it work. We can solve the dynamic. Yeah, he was cheating on you, but there is something more important, which is love, commitment, and happiness. And some other situation, men will be cheater for the rest of their life. What do you recommend in this case to the ladies that will listen to us?
Well, on that situation towards your client, it's the cheating, the action of cheating is actually the result of something unknown or unbroken or broken within the relationship already. So the cheating part is not necessarily, oh, there's something wrong with our relationship because you cheated on me. There's been something brewing for who knows how long, maybe either spoken or non to each other, that there's been a disconnect of some form, or maybe a lack of attention, or maybe not feeling prioritized, or maybe taken for granted. There's the emotional disconnect that creates the action of cheating in the relationship. And unless that person, your client, acknowledges where that was, like I have a client in that situation where she cheated on her husband, and it was because there was so many different things going on with family health, work, kids, and everything, and then lost a parent, and she just kind of lost herself. And so this guy was more of like this uplifting, happy, stress-free, almost like escape from her scenario at home that was just very heavy and dark, unfortunately. And so she admits why she did what she did, and she never wanted to do it again. So it's more about acknowledging what caused the action of the cheating compared to just trying to fix the trust or demand the trust back.
I see what you mean. So there is those situations where I always say most of the men will cheat when they are not happy in the marriage, in the relationship, but they don't know how to communicate the best way. They won't share their emotions. They won't be vulnerable. So instead of creating an argument, I prefer to cheat, which is the most stupidest decision.
Yeah.
It's stupid, but it can happen.
Yeah.
Some other cases, we see men that would take advantage of a woman. They would cheat on her, and then they would bullshit her with a lot of feelings. I love you, love bombing that we mentioned. What do you recommend in this dynamic?
I was actually talking about this yesterday when I was filming some videos here at the studio about the difference of a healthy avoider and an unhealthy avoider. So obviously there's been some avoidance in that relationship between that guy feeling disconnected or not feeling loved or not happy with themselves. So the idea is, if you know you are more of an avoider, especially most men are, you need to understand, you need to kind of meet her, not even halfway, but bring something to the table to communicate something personal, vulnerable, sensitive, even something questionable about yourself. You need to understand that you need to at least acknowledge what it is, like, again, the addict. Maybe his problem isn't the fact that he can't be loyal to his wife or girlfriend. He has an addiction. He needs help with that sense level. So you need to kind of basically almost peel the onion to say what's really the core of this situation. So when you focus more on that, then you're looking at basically more of like maybe therapeutic help or personal development or a coach or psychology or a therapist. And so you look at when you focus on the actual human nature of something, then you might make sense of your actual actions of why you do certain things. I mean, do you think in a sense, if someone really wanted to get better, would the relationship be stronger after that situation?
I do feel, yes. I do feel. If they really want to be better, any situation, we talk about cheating, but it could be an argument. It could be a distance, a breakup sometimes can also make people realize, no, I'm in the wrong, I need to change. Because we grew up with this idea from Disney, Hollywood, that love is easy, love is simple. Like we have two people, they need to love each other. But the reality is that, look at us. You're from the United States, I'm from France. I have a background, you have a background, which means that we have so many differences. We work our relationship, we understand each other, but sometimes when you are a couple, it goes much deeper. You need to live with that person. You talk about the Super Bowl, you talk about Valentine's Day, but for us in France, we don't have Super Bowl, we don't have we have, but it's just very not important, you know? And that's what is insane. And, it's kind of like a relationship, we really need to make it work. But I've seen so many situations where women will try to make it work with someone that is doing nothing. And that's why I would say, like, men tend to cheat on a woman that is just giving a hole, and they don't have to respect her in a way. So I want them to feel empowered also.
Why do you think those women stay with those men?
I think the first one is hope. Because, at the beginning of the relationship, those cheaters, they will create a lot of positive emotions. And so you always remember what they were at the beginning of the relationship. Have you seen this with your clients? Yeah, but he was nice, but he was giving me a lot of gifts. He was always trying to meet me. Yeah, but that was 10 years ago, because it's been 9 years that now he's cheating with every one of your friends.
Oh, my goodness.
So we need to stop this. So hope is the number one reason they stay. Number two is the fear of being alone. I feel like yeah, but I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be single. But he's still, I need him. I want him. So all of those codependency situation, I would say.
I'm curious in that scenario. Let me ask you with maybe your story with your clients or not. When there's a situation of the guy cheating on him and the girl stays with the guy, outside of hope, do you think it's more of the lifestyle that they have? If someone got cheated on and let's say they're not financially stable, the lifestyle isn't so extravagant, do you think it would be a lot easier for that woman to move on and say, all right, you know what? I could do better? Or is it more of like, I don't know if I want to move out of this house, or maybe divorce is expensive, or our kids are still young, or, it's so hard to let go of all these memories and what we have, all these materialistic things, unfortunately, where they stay for the wrong reasons. But they might say it's hope. But usually I would say when I see clients, unfortunately, stay in those unhealthy situations, it's more of the glamour of the relationship, the image, compared to the actual mutual respect.
That's a very good question, because I have seen some different situations. It happened to me one time in 18 years.
Wow.
Only one time a woman told me, Alex, I'm staying because I love the fact that I have a lifestyle.
Oof.
But most of the time, what I see, it's kind of like the opposite, which means men tend to create a control over finances. Stop working, stay with the kids. And then they cheat because they take their wife or woman for granted.
Yeah.
And so unfortunately, those women, they cannot really leave them, or they are in a difficult position. There is a lot of control that this guy is exercising, but they want to leave. They really want to leave. The only reason why they would stay is this hope that he would open his eyes. He would come back as the man I met 20 years ago, 10 years ago. And this hope that he will just realize what he's doing to me, to the kids. Yesterday, I was coaching this amazing woman from California who told me, Alex, we have 3 daughters together. He's not even realizing the pain that they are suffering or indulging because of the fact that he's now seeing someone else. And he's not hiding himself in front of the girls. And so I told her, why do you allow this to happen? Because he was not like that before. That was her response. What do you think of those situations?
Like you said before, everyone does hold on to what they were in the beginning, the first impression, all the good things of all the good loving moments and memories. So it's like you need to be realistic. You need to be realistic about where we are now. I mean, I had a client not too long ago about a situation where her husband cheated on her, and she knew she was going to get a divorce, but she was waiting for the youngest to go to college, which is basically another year. And she asked for my coaching help, not to date, because she wasn't trying to even add that new next level of drama to the house, but more like how to have boundaries with your husband in the same house that I'm eventually going to divorce. And I was like, wow, that's a very honorable thing you're doing for one thing, putting away your personal respect, space, and peace, because you want to make sure your child is just like, doesn't notice anything extreme, goes off to college, then you guys figure it out. And so we just talked about basically how to have boundaries in a toxic relationship, or how to have boundaries with a narcissist in some form. He wasn't a narcissist, just a cheater. But it was more of the fact that it's just, it's tough to earn the trust. I mean, my brother said once, and it's like, trust is an action, not a feeling. Do you believe that?
Yeah, of course. I love your brother's quote. I love when you bring the brother's quote.
Yeah, he's a good man.
He's good.
He's good.
We need to bring him to the podcast.
Pretty good. And so, so since me and you are on the same line with that, explain to others out there, listeners, why do you think that in that sense it's so clear? Trust is an action, not a feeling.
Because I feel like we want to focus on even words sometimes. Yeah, but he told me that, or she told me that. It can happen for you ladies as well. So when I say trust is an action, is that we need to win the trust, and it doesn't come words. Because I can say I love Andres, I hate Andres in just 1 second like this. Ow. Nobody understands exactly what I really feel, what I really see. So it will come through actions. So the trust is, for example, if someone is cheating on you, they will send you text message. They will be home by 7 p.m. They will plan a date with you. They won't go to see their friends that their friends were helping them to cheat, etc. Those are the actions that make sure that you can trust them. Because even if he says, I love you, you're the woman of my dream, I will never do it again. What if the next day, it happened to me in coaching.
Yeah.
The guy leave on Saturday night, comes back Sunday night. Can you trust this guy?
Exactly. So it's not about a feeling I give you with my words or my gifts or my affection.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. It's more of the actions of, again, so ladies, take notes on this. The right man, a trustworthy man, a loyal man will take action not to cover himself up, but to basically prevent and basically be more proactive to keep the relationship sacred, keep the purity, keep it respectful. They want to make sure they protect the relationship. So they basically, they don't play around with social media. Their phones are always, screen up. Go ahead and take a look at it. They back up their words. They make sure they remove themselves from temptation or anything that might cause concern for the relationship. So they're taking action to protect the relationship compared to, I'm kind of guilty, or I'm kind of curious, or I'm kind of tempted. They remove that out of them. They're just saying, I don't want that. Get the cake away from me.
Yeah.
And so in that way, they take the action to discipline themselves to stay more loyal and pure to what their commitment is in the relationship.
And I feel like a man that really wants to do good, he knows that you need security, ladies. He knows that you want to feel secure, you want to feel good, you want to feel empowered, you want to feel that you can trust him. And it's not coming only via words. The actions will be the most important thing that we need to consider.
100%. I was saying this yesterday on the video about how when you're starting to date an avoider, listen, everyone's something, so relax, all right? Don't be going crazy. Oh, he's an avoider. Everyone's something. Everyone's got red flags. Everyone has insecurities and flaws or an attachment style.
Do
Everyone.
you, Mr. Coach Undressed, do you have some red flags in yourself?
Of course. Of course. But guess what? I have 1,000 more green.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
There you go.
That's
Yeah.
what we
I
wanna
got
hear.
way more green, way more greener than my shirt. And as I'm telling you, like, I have a lot of green flags, and I say that humbly and proudly because I've suffered, I've learned, I've grown, I've gone through pain, I've had great role models, not just because I'm just good at something, because I take pride in certain things of characteristics. But the red flags I have, yeah, of course. I was more avoidant, now I'm less of it.
Yeah.
And so the key thing is what I was saying yesterday is you need to value and commit to always feeling mentally clear with who you're with once you guys leave the date or once you guys get off the phone. Always feel mentally clear. Speak up, because the healthy avoider, which is out there, it is realistic. I've done a lot of research. They're not good at communicating these things. They probably won't initiate this level of intimacy verbally, but they love and respect you so much. If it does bring up, they'll work their way to find the right words or at least try to communicate something to make you feel secure. And so always make sure, ladies, to try to value feeling mentally clear. Try to not basically check on the situation, but basically try to be on the same page with certain things. Don't have any misunderstandings. Don't assume, especially if he's an avoider, don't assume and let that space go further down the road and you don't hear anything, and then you get more anxious. It triggers your anxious attachment. And now you're starting to analyze too much and overthink everything. Establish clarity within the communication so you both know where you both stand. Another thing I was saying on top of that, to kind of finalize that point, is that have fun doing that. Don't make it such a dramatic debate. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a Congress hearing over here. Make it exciting. Like that you want to be mentally clear with the person you love. You want to be on the same page with someone you make love to. You want to be enthusiastic about where this is going. People always put this connotation to be dramatic or intense when they speak about boundaries or, we need to talk. Like, relax. You know what I'm saying? You need to have more fun with that.
I do agree. I think it's like what we need to learn, because once again, if we follow the Hollywood or Disney or the society, it's kind of like the opposite way of thinking that we receive as an education. To come back on the topic of today, I wanted to see with you, why do you think that men will cheat? So we talk about the idea that there is this guy that will always be a cheater, won't respect a woman, doesn't care, only selfish, sometimes even narcissist. We have talked about the fact that we are not really happy in a relationship. We let the routine be inside. We don't know how to communicate. Do you see any other reason why a guy would cheat on a woman?
Other than like low self-esteem, not being happy, been taken for granted. We kind of said this earlier and you were laughing at it. Why is it that you notice that people cheat down and not cheat up?
What do you mean by cheat down?
Like if you cheat, unfortunately, with someone, and you cheat with someone and you're like, oh, I cheated on you with Jessica Alba. Oh, all right, that's your hall pass. But most of the times, ironically, they usually tell the situation or get caught with cheating with someone less of a quality, less attractive, less value, inspiring in the sense of the relationship. And so that might be a level of a macho, masculine, dominant, alpha power trip, being in control. Because usually you're probably going to be eye to eye or at least the same level as your wife or your girlfriend for a long time. You're not trying to like belittle them. You're not trying to make them feel inferior. If anything, you put them on the pedestal as a queen. And so sometimes there's this like level of this ego saying, I want to be in control. I want someone less of me. I want someone less attractive than my wife. I want someone who's this and that, in the way they feel a little more dominant. And that might be something obviously covering up pure ego, but more about you're not working on something within yourself, obviously.
I never thought about it. I like this reflection. I will do some research on this. But I think, that's a very good point, And maybe they feel also like they are like more in control, as you mentioned, or they feel more valued at this moment because in the relationship, there is a moment where we take our partner for granted. That can happen as well.
And think about it. That person you're dating, cheating down with, that person is probably looking up at you so much.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking.
You. So like the assistant, the secretary, the typical classic, oh, my boss, oh my God, he's talking to me. And so you have this new admiration, this infatuation where it makes you feel makes you superior, makes you feel powerful. Man, yeah, hell yeah, I still got it. And so you kind of go with that ego trip on that sense.
Yeah, that's very interesting. I never thought about it. And, that's some echo for me because of a coaching I did last week with a woman that told me, like, my husband cheated on me. But they didn't have sex for 5 years as well. I was like,
whoa, the person he cheated on with didn't have sex with that person?
No, so him and his wife didn't have sex for 5 years.
Why?
And so he decided to cheat. Not to leave the house. He says, I love you, but she caught him cheating, and he was like, yeah, we are not sleeping together. We didn't have sex for 5 years. 2 years ago, you told me that you doesn't want to really spend time with me, so I figured that I need to feel like a man as well. So, but the thing is, like, he found a woman that was younger than him, no situation. So it was not like he wants to leave the house. It was mostly like, let me find someone I feel empowered, as you mentioned. I feel strong. I feel like I still got it. But that's the 2 points that I'm seeing is, number one, your reflection is very interesting. Men would cheat because they want to feel kind of in control. And they will also cheat if the relationship doesn't bring, it's not even a routine now, it doesn't bring any intimacy. What do you think of this point?
No, I think it's great. I'm curious about that situation. So are they still together in this open relationship?
So basically, it was not an open relationship.
Well, I mean,
it was 5 years ago. They just like stopped having sex. 2 years ago, my client said, look, I don't want to sleep with you because this is not healthy. We are just co-parenting. But we stay married. Yeah. And now she found out that he was cheating, and I would say by miracle, she loves him back. Like she was like, I love him back. I want to be with him. I want this. I want that. So I was talking to her and I said, look, you need to take your time. We need to make sure that we rebuild some attraction and trust before we try anything. But I have seen some men cheating if they are not satisfied sexually. I think that this is also a good point, not a good reason. Sorry. This is also a main reason why when men would cheat.
Well, so your client who now has this newfound love for her husband for cheating on her, wouldn't you say as just a helpful advice of the extreme differences of not sleeping together for 5 years and then now you're more in love with your husband because you slept with someone else? There's a lot in the middle that you really didn't actually communicate. There's a lot going on. There's the substance in the middle. The day in and day out discussion hasn't been discussed. So for you to go from extremely no sex to now I want my husband more now than ever because he was with somebody else, to me, I feel like there's a huge disconnect. And you're now acting on almost like a dopamine or like a drug or a fix or a feeling of 0 to 100. Very, very unhealthy. Not going to last.
Yeah. That's the reason
mentality.
But that's good she come to me because now I can help her. But yes, I do agree with you. But have you seen men cheating because of this lack of sexual pleasure.
Yeah, although I've had calls on that situation. I was even talking about it yesterday again as I was filming videos about sex secrets that drive men crazy.
Ooh.
Oh, check it
What
out.
is your channel,
ladies? Coaching with Undressed. Subscribe to it. It'll be out soon. So I talk about a couple of secrets about coming from a man's point of view. How men always seem to feel like they take initiative when it comes to the sex, when it comes to the foreplay, when it comes to the touching, when it comes to the mood. When ladies take the initiation, us men aren't used to, let's say, as much as women feeling desired, feeling adored, feeling that, wow, my woman wants me, or wow, look at that. Us men seems like we always want it anywhere, anytime, right? We always have that stereotype, they say. But when a woman shows and takes initiative, and so it's one thing if a woman always understands to break routine. And so one of the things I was saying, not everything needs to start and finish in the bedroom. Change it up a little bit. Have more affectionate and unpredictable kissing. Mm-hmm. Not the typical goodbye, not the typical hello, which is beautiful. Something out of the blue. And really get into that situation where you're make an impact in that person, where you feel, wow. Because every time guys don't feel like we prioritize feeling loved and affectionate towards the woman we have, but we really do love it. We really do feel like the top of the world when a woman has our back or supports us or massages our shoulders or does something surprising and has this outfit on. Oh my God, we thrive on those situations when we have those excitement feelings that our partner desires us romantically. And so we always feel like maybe if we're not always doing it, then we're not going to have it. Or maybe the woman's not in the mood. And so for ladies, I'll say is out there, if you're with a good man, don't take it for granted and don't keep things predictable or routine-based. Spice things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. Have a little unpredictability, because in that way, it drives them crazy.
I love what you mentioned, Coach Andres. And I feel that this would prevent infidelity for sure.
Yes.
For sure. If you create more desire, if there is this excitement, if you can continue to seduce, attract your partner, there is no need for a guy to cheat. Because as you mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, and I love that, not men are all cheaters.
No,
that's not true. Not men are all narcissists. Nope. We are not that negative. So we have to be okay with identifying that a positive relationship will bring a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, a lot of fun. So you need to, of course, make it work this way. That's why you need to subscribe to Coaching with Undressed, the YouTube channel. I know you do a lot of TikTok live as well.
Yes, Coach_Undressed. TikTok, check me out. I do live 2-3 nights a week. Subscribe to my channel, Coaching with Undressed. And if you have any questions or any interest in coaching calls, please check out my website, coachingwithundressed.com. I offer full services as a coach, as a certified life, relationship, corporate executive leadership coach, and fitness nutrition instructor. So I do a full one-stop shop coach services. And you look at my package, you look at my details, send me a phone call message or an email. I'll be more than happy to give you a consultation. But I'm telling you, this is more about my goal, which I finally got there let's say 6 months ago, is to be a coach that provides everything. Mm-hmm. Relationship is the goal. Love is the goal. But there's a journey towards that. And it's going to work on self-love, health, fitness, nutrition, corporate goals, business goals. All those things all play in a big part of feeling more not just valuable and attractive with yourself, but it's desirable in the dating world.
Mm-hmm. And that's what will make men come to you,
yes,
respect you, not cheat on you, ladies. That's how you can also build a healthy relationship. So when you feel good with yourself, trust me, your charisma, your energy, everything will relate in the relationship or with this guy that you really want to be with. Don't forget as well to leave 5 stars to this podcast. Of course, we want to see your review. We want to see your comments because we respond to every single question. And we are here to show you that there is good men and there is good coaches as well that are here to support you. Don't stay by yourself. And please, please, please don't ask your girlfriends because they give you the weirdest advice all the time. What do you think, Coach Andres?
I think it's so true because your girlfriends want to protect you, so they give you the same advice. Mm-hmm. And so we are all about, again, I always tell my clients in a funny way, I'm not team Natalie. I'm not team, Barbara. I'm team healthy relationships. So I will respectfully call you out in a respectful, tough, loving way of what did you not do? Mm-hmm. What are you lacking accountability on? Whereas most girlfriends or even good friends of anybody want to take your side and be protective on that. So they're always going to be very predictable and one-sided with their opinion. And so sometimes you might not just need an outside opinion, but why not a male certified coach outside opinion to really give you a good grasp of the situation.
I think that this is very important, ladies. So remember, you need to leave the 5 stars, leave a comment, and of course, go check Coaching with Andres. You can come and check my channel, which is French Relationship Expert, because we are still doing a lot of things, Coach Andres and myself, for you, ladies. Thank you again, Coach Andres. I will see you for a new episode.
Always a pleasure.
Take care, ladies.